Tonight on the Indie Wave, we speak to Ryan Hannity of Woodside, Queens, who performs under the name Catch Me If You Can. Primarily categorized as folk punk and 90s style acoustic music, he's self-described as a film nut. His songwriting is heavily focused on narrative storytelling. He draws influence from artists such as Frank Turner, Against Me, and Third Eye Blind. Tonight, it's Ryan Hannity and Catch Me If You Can on the Indie Wave.
Welcome to the Indie Wave, a show where we peel back the layers of the music industry to reveal the core of the music we all love and appreciate. Coming from Klamath Falls, Oregon, we're working to show you the independent artists that are breaking the mold in music land and tearing up the interweb and charts to reach everyone in America. Welcome to the Indie Wave with your host, Christopher Jerman.
Hey there, folks. Welcome to the Indie Wave. This is a opportunity for everybody that is dabbling in the music world to get involved and be heard on this podcast. And it's not necessarily a podcast. It's also a broadcast. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere you're going to find this thing. And we are all excited about who we're talking with today, because today we have a very special gentleman, comes all the way from New York City. And I think this is really catching on in the tri-state area, which is really cool. And that's really awesome. But let me read you a little bit about him before we get into this interview so that you know a little bit about the guy. Ryan Hannity is a singer-songwriter based in Woodside, Queens, who performs under the name Catch Me If You Can. His music primarily categorized as folk punk and 90s style acoustic music. As self-described film nut, his songwriting is heavily focused on the narrative storytelling. He draws influence from artists such as Frank Turner, Against Me, and Third Eye Blind. Active for over a decade, Ryan has built a steady presence in the DIY music scene. His discography includes 2 self-released EPs and several singles produced by John Baldessano. Performances at notable venues across the tri-state area, including the Bitter End in New York City, Debonair Music Hall in New Jersey, and the Founders Room at the Paramount in Long Island. In addition to his solo work, he's active in the production side of the industry, contributing video, lighting, and photography work for various music projects and festivals, such as Asbury Park's What a Wonderful Year. Now, without further ado, Ryan, put your face on this screen. Let's talk to you.
Hey, how you doing? I'm so glad to be here. I appreciate you having me.
Well, you know, I got to tell you, it's kind of cool catching up with people from the tri-state area, because that's where I used to hail from back in the day. And you know, if it's catching on back that way, it's the way to be, I guess, huh?
Yeah. So are you from New York originally?
Well, originally I'm from Connecticut, actually. I grew up in Stratford, Connecticut, and you know, I've bounced all around New York City and New Jersey and everything, and obviously all the weather forecasts cover the tri-state area. So you know, I kind of feel like we're brethren in a sort of way.
For sure. Yeah. Hopefully you didn't get as much snow as we did.
No, actually, out here in Oregon, they're talking about it's going to be a horrible fire season because we don't have any mountain snow, and quite frankly, this is going to be a very smoky summer for us, I think. But hey, that's part and parcel to the you know, I kind of think that, you know, the Lord gives you what you need when you need it. And quite frankly, we did not appreciate fully the rain and the snow that we had last season. So I think now he's saying, all right, if you're not going to appreciate it, we'll take it from you and you guys can fend for yourselves.
Oh, no. Hopefully it's not that aggressive, but
well, we'll hope not. We'll hope not, but we'll see what happens. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you and Catch Me If You Can. Now, tell me, where did you get all of your auspices? Where did you come from? I mean, you're in Queens, I assume?
Yeah, I've been living in Queens for about since 2017, so almost 10 years. But I'm originally from Long Island. I grew up right outside of Queens in a town called Valley Stream. I didn't really start playing music till high school, and then I started joining a bunch of different bands, and of course none of them worked out. And around 2012, I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do this myself.
Uh-huh. And I was listening to your music just before this taping, and quite frankly, I love your sound. I mean, it's really
Thank you.
harkens back to my youth in a lot of ways, and it reminds me of the '90s era and Third Eye Blind and all that kinds of good stuff like that. So thank you for bringing me back, and thank you for inspiring me to reconnect with my roots.
I'm glad it's bringing that kind of like, because I probably seen Third Eye Blind maybe close to 20 times.
Oh yeah.
And I've always like, and I know it's not my music, it's not as technical as theirs is because they go crazy with pedals and stuff like that. But I just the songwriting for like Third Eye Blind, Frank Turner, even like Green Day and stuff, I just like wordy stuff.
Okay.
And I think that's kind of a lot of what I pull from those artists. So may not sound like it sonically always, but it's usually I'm pulling it from the lyrical kind of structure.
Well, that works for me because I really like the fact that you're a storyteller with your writing and with how you put your music together. Now, you also have a film background as well, right?
Yep, I went to school for radio, TV, and film, uh, and I wanted to be a screenwriter really, really badly. And the route to doing that is just it's hard.
Yeah.
Music's hard, but and so is every type of media. But I kind of was like, all right, I started writing all these scripts, and I was like, just so I use them in some way and I don't feel like I wasted all my time, I'm going to start trying to turn some of them into songs. And so a lot of the songs are like pieces of screenplays that I wrote.
Well, funny enough, I was just watching the Springsteen biopic that was just this past weekend, right after the Super Bowl. I watched it. And apparently, Born in the USA came from a script that he received when he was a younger man. And that's how he came up with Born in the USA as a song.
I didn't know that. That's pretty
so
cool.
Apparently, you're not alone in that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't know that at all.
Well, check it out. It's called Springsteen. It's streaming right now at the point. I'm kind of surprised it was streaming already, but the point is that there's so much linkage between film and music, and you're kind of straddling both of those worlds.
Yeah, and I think, and come to think of it, one job that I don't, it's not really a job. It's kind of like, but at the time when I was in school, I wanted this job, which was like the person who always came up with the soundtracks for movies. Because I mean, remember, I don't know, like if I'm sure you watched movies in the 90s and 2000s, those soundtracks were fantastic.
They were epic. They were epic. Yeah, totally.
I just rewatched Scream 2 last night. I was like, every song on here is so good.
Well, I remember back at like Last of the Mohicans and obviously Titanic, and I mean they had such powerful song tracks to the films that it really it augmented that. And I mean Streets of Philadelphia. And I mean, there's so many movies that the soundtracks really carried the film, and they weren't bad films either way, but they were enhanced because of the music of the soundtracks that really made them stand out. And you were listening to that music all the time on the radio back in the day.
And a lot of the times, like you had like the one that always comes to mind is Iris by Goo Goo Dolls. Like songs were written for movies.
Yeah.
And I think once the CGI budgets went up, that went away.
Yeah, totally. Well, and that's funny you bring up that you mentioned bringing up CGI because that's been a theme that has been really strong in this season of the podcast. Everybody's doing AI and everybody's doing relying on computer generated content to get their songs finished and to do anything. Do you play with that at all yourself?
No, I've been just as someone who works like in the media industry, like I've been really, especially for these songs, like I found this website called Sound Better, and I was actually able to hire a horn player. I was able to hire a drummer. So just knowing from being in the media industry right now, like how difficult work is, like just getting consistent work. I didn't want to contribute to making it harder, so I found some people who I could afford, and it worked out.
Well, I love what you're putting out there, and I followed you on Spotify. I followed you on YouTube. I followed
Thank
you on
you.
Facebook. I've added all your links to my profile, and quite frankly, I think you have a very unique sound in this day and age when it's not as it's more of a folky kind of sound that is really powerful, and I like what you're putting out there.
Thank you. Yeah, this song is a little different. I was actually in a ska band in college, and that was kind of like I always liked it. It was a fun genre, but after that experience, I was kind of like, okay, I think I'm going to move on to something else. And somehow I made an accidental ska song. That's what I've been calling it.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Well, I was a big fan of ska back in the day as well. So apparently, you and I come from similar backgrounds in that respect as well. But so tell me, I mean, where are you? Are you performing? Are you going to get out? You've got a foot and a half of snow outside right now, I imagine. So it's not not a lot of stuff going on. But once the spring comes around and eventually the thaw happens, are you planning on playing any shows?
Yep. I right now I'm a solo artist. Most like I don't have a band behind me, so anyone who comes in is usually doing me a big favor. But what I play a lot of solo shows, so I'll probably play a bunch of bars in New York and New Jersey. I right now I'm on April 18th. I'm playing the Elephants for Autism fundraiser show,
Okay.
which is down in Atlantic City. It's at this bar called Tennessee Avenue Beer Hall. So I do that every year, and that's a fun one. And I'm playing in Nyack, New York, at a place called Olives on May 16th. So I'm
Well,
sure things will come
Nyack
up
is
between
actually
then.
that's just across the bridge on the Tappan Zee, and
Mhm.
I've spent a lot of time up there. So thank you so much for bringing that back to my memory.
Yeah, I have a few friends who from up there, and someone mentioned it to me. I was like, oh yeah, I haven't played up there.
Uh-huh. Well, so are you planning on doing any kind of touring? Are you going to get out and experience the country at all?
I would love to. Put in for a lot of like festivals and stuff. We'll see what comes up.
Uh-huh.
So nothing solid yet, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I get to DC, maybe some Virginia, and then maybe a little bit northeast. See what happens.
Well, Michigan's going to love you, I'm sure of that, and certainly down in the heartland, I think they're going to appreciate your sound as well. So, get out there, go explore, and find your people, so to speak.
For sure. Yeah, it's on the list. Just got to figure out how to, logistically make it all work.
Well, that is awesome. So whilst we're out here, how can people get involved with your music? I mean, I want to give you an opportunity to do your pitch, if you will.
Sure. All my music is on Spotify, Deezer, Amazon, Apple, iMusic now. Yeah, iMusic. I have an Android. Um, um, but you can also find me on all the social media stuff. It's at CMIYC Music, and that's the same handle for all of it. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna start doing some more YouTube content. So follow me on YouTube, and yeah, I'm around.
Well, you're available as at Catch Me If You Can up on YouTube as well. I found you on that
Yes.
way. And then Spotify has you Catch Me If You Can as well. Where'd you come up with that name? I mean, it's kind of you got a pretty cool name as it is, Ryan Hannity. I love that name, but why did you switch it over to Catch Me If You Can?
For the exact reason, because of my name. If you remember the movie, Tom Hanks's last name of his character is Hanratty, so I kind of just ran with it.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense then. Okay, perfect. Because I actually was Googling it, and I had to stick music on the end of it because I kept getting that movie popping up all
Yeah.
over the place. So that now all makes sense.
I have run into some confusion. That has definitely happened. So that's why I use the acronym a lot.
Well, there you go. There you go. Well, what else do we need to cover? We've got you. You're playing a couple shows up in New York in the springtime, whenever the snow decides to
Mhm.
melt. You're going to also make it down to Atlantic City, and you're playing a benefit down there. Everybody can find you up on Facebook as well as on YouTube and on Spotify and everything like that. Is there anything else that we need to cover in this before we let you go?
Yeah, March 13th is when this single is coming out. It's called Me Versus the Lack of Context. And it'll be streaming everywhere. And I'm really looking forward to it. And a huge thanks to who you mentioned in the intro, my friend John, who produced the whole thing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it because the last EP I put out was in 2022, so it's been 3 years.
Well, you've got 10 years, it says here, nearly a decade that you've been doing this, and you're probably I imagine you're just getting better with age. That seems to be the way that this all works, is that as you get older, you get better. But if I ever make it back out to the New York City area, I definitely want to check you out. I'm stuck here in Klamath Falls, Oregon, so there's not a lot of chance to get out there. But if you ever wander out west out here and you start doing a West Coast tour or anything like that, I want to come check you out.
I would love to, because Oregon's on my list. I've only been to California twice, so I haven't gotten to explore the West Coast too much. So I definitely want to get out there.
Well, not least of which from your film side of your world, as well as your music side. There's a lot going on out here, and we would love to have you out here.
Looking forward to it.
Well, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play a couple of clips from your music anthology and get a little bit of a play so people can hear your music and know who you are and appreciate you. And then after that, I have a takeaway. And I think today's takeaway is going to be something about, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'll figure that out after the fact. But Ryan, I want to thank you for being here today. And thank your publicist for sharing you with me as well, because I didn't even know to find you. And all of a sudden she said, hey, do you put this guy on your podcast? And I said, okay, yes, I will. Thank you so much. So thank her for that as well, if you would, please.
I will. Yeah, Steph is awesome. The mic is her PR company, and they've been great.
Well, I love the fact that you're doing what you're doing, and I want to share you out there with the world. This episode's going to play. Well, we'll talk about that after the fact, but thank you so much for being here today. And if you keep me apprised of your travels and what you're doing, I will make sure it gets out on the Indie Wave channel, and we'll share everything that you're doing out there.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Hey, that's what we do. We promote. That's my job. All right. So, and you guys, let's switch back to this camera because I have to take a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to play a couple of clips from Ryan's anthology. And it's the Catch Me If You Can. And if you can check that out. And then after that, we'll do a takeaway and we'll end the episode. So thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned after these messages. We'll be right back. Tune in. Klamath Falls is a lot of things to a lot of people, but the growing music industry in Klamath Falls is one thing that might surprise you. Thank goodness we have a music store on Main Street to meet the needs of musicians everywhere. A music store on Main Street specializes in services on stringed instruments and pianos. We have the largest selection of in-stock strings in Southern Oregon. Our family-run shop since 2011 has offered internet pricing with small-town service, including new large items like guitars, amps, electric pianos, effects pedals, and more. So stop in today at 1029 Main Street in Klamath Falls or call 541-205-6633.
up here, but it's I who feels weak. One day at a time is all that it takes. They're never ending and I hate to wait. Another day in this frustrated mind. Another day, I guess I gotta try. Dead for the dead cells in my mind. Created a cancer, it's the killing kind. We count on the best to keep us alive. It was the best of times, the worst of crimes, the worst of. What do you know? Such a beautiful day, caught in a violent way. Words back a punch, forces straight into his head. What would the doctor say? Maybe this could be easier than we know. Just a little amnesia. Need a little amnesia to forget this place. Drink yourself through another June in that Long Beach bar with a lemon brew. Cause nothing gets easier when you try. Talk myself through another night after all these years. Yeah, I'm scared to fight and it's true. I wanna kill you. Oh, goddamn this body. Just walk it off, that's what they say. Be the guy in the back drinking till last call. And the kids see me and I scare them all. And the darkness falls right through my face. My eyes go black, do not resuscitate. Let me go now, I'll crawl out back. Spit up blood, another heart attack. And the voice stops. I remember days we go outside and drink the weather, never had much space. City life, for worse or better, he remembers you. Those doughy eyes, bright as a feather, hoping on hope. Better days, just fictitious letters. Oh, another day at home. Oh, I'm looking out from under stone. Oh, we know things have gotta change. There's barbed wire on my door. No welcome mats here anymore. We'll waste away these days. In a few more we'll be okay. And pretend outside's a masquerade. A masquerade. Watch the news at first. Pet the dog makes you feel better. She's been on the road. Bills don't act as safety measures. He drinks to the sounds of sirens and FaceTime chatter. Once busy streets are emptier than hearts in winter. Oh, paychecks getting thinner. Oh, more cereal for dinner.
The indie wave isn't just a genre anymore. It's a seismic shift in how music is made, shared, and consumed. It's a mindset that prioritizes creative sovereignty over corporate predictability. Whether you're backed by a major label's muscle or grinding from a bedroom studio in your parents' basement, tuning in to this wave requires a blend of high-tech savvy and old-school soul. If you're an independent artist, agility is your superpower. For the indie creator, the wave is about total ownership. You aren't just the singer, you're the CEO, the creative director, and the community manager. Don't try to please everyone. The indie wave rewards hyper-specific aesthetics. Find your 1,000 true fans by leaning into your weirdness. Platforms like Bandcamp, Patreon, and Discord have replaced the need for a middleman. Tuning in means building a digital campfire where fans feel like they're part of the process, not just the consumers of the product. High gloss production is out. Authenticity is in. A voice memo that captures raw emotion often performs better than a $50,000 studio session. And if you're a signed artist, we welcome you on this show as well. If you're signed, the challenge is different. How do you stay indie when you're part of a machine? Tune into the wave, you have to break the fourth wall. Audiences can smell a PR curated tweet from a miles away. Signed artists are finding success by showing the glitches, the messy demos, and the behind-the-scenes struggles. Use label resources to fund the big swings, but keep a DIY outlet like a secret SoundCloud or an unpolished TikTok series to maintain your edge. The Indie Wave is built on community. Reach across the aisle to collaborate with unsigned producers or visual artists. It keeps your sound fresh and grounded. What connects both regardless of your contract status, the Indie Wave is governed by a few universal truths in 2026. The Wave doesn't care about your budget, it cares about your vibration. If the music feels honest, the audience will find it. How to catch the swell means stopping the search for a big break and starting the work of building a big foundation. It's about being a student of the game, understanding how to reach your audience while never losing the spark that made you pick up an instrument in the first place. And we welcome everyone, signed or unsigned, here on the Indie Wave. And with that, another half hour is in the space-time continuum, has etched itself into the past. Tune in each week at 8 p.m. on Fridays for the latest in music and a little wisdom from this guy. Now, thank you for watching, and make sure you smash that subscribe button to be updated with all our newest content. And as always, do good, have fun, and sail far. I'm Christopher German, formerly That Sailing Guy, your host, wishing your stellar weekend ahead and encouraging you to tune in each and every week. We'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. God bless and good night.
Closing time blue.